Hi, this is John Smoltz, formerly with the Atlanta Braves, and you're watching Class Act Sports.
Class Act Sports is here with one of the best pitchers to ever come across the majors, John Smoltz. John, we're here at Six Sports inaugural golf outing. I know you shot a 70, one off of shooting in the 60s. How did it go out there today?
Well, it was fun. You know, anytime you come to an event and you get a chance to see other celebrities, certainly you want to do good. You know, golf is a passion of mine, and I had a lot of fun with the guys I played with and left some shots out there like we all do. And you know what? I'll take a 70 on a day where the course was playing long and it was wet, and I'm working on some things.
Tiger Woods mentioned that you are the best golfer outside of the PGA Tour. Have you ever thought about actually trying to get on the PGA Tour?
Not the PGA Tour, but the Senior Tour someday. I mean, I'm looking forward to turning 50 and being challenged in that tour. I know it's a tough thing. I know it's probably the hardest sport to get into because of the eliteness of it. But you know, I want to apply the theories that I've had and experience I've had in baseball and see how far I can climb that ladder. But the PGA, these guys are, you know, being 44. If I was 24, maybe it'll be a different story. But I'm having a time of my life trying to see how far I can take golf.
Well, Stephen Reed, another aspiring PGA golfer, he held a $50 bill with your signature on it. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, you know, I got to give him his props. You know, but if he would have been in the same group, I think that would have been worth 2 shots for me. I could have used those mind tricks a little bit, put a little pressure on him. But being in different groups, he eagled the 18th hole. I birdied it. That was the difference. That got him the victory. And you know, I can't wait for the next time.
Another little secret I'm gonna let you in on. They play for the Blue Tees too.
Oh, I get you now. That makes that even sweeter. I appreciate the info.
John, 8-time All-Star. You know, you were just talking about what you learned. You learned a lot of things from baseball. What were some of those theories that you can now apply to such a mental game of golf?
Well, the biggest thing is the patience level is totally different. You know, in baseball with a starting pitcher or pitching, it starts with you. You know, you create the momentum, the tempo, the everything starts with you. With golf, you're at the mercy of weather and other players and time, and I'm not there yet. I mean, I'm not anywhere near tournament tested. And the patience level to play golf, a day like today, I'm looking at 54 holes. You know, and I got to realize that golf is a different level for these guys. These guys are professionals. They look at it differently. They don't leave anything to chance. Whereas I, and in casual golf, can shoot in the 60s and 70s quite often. But when you get tournament tested, it's just you, and the pressure's on you. It's a little different.
You know, John, you was a starter for a long time in this league, and I think in 2001, you know, after your Tommy John surgery, you went on to become a closer. What's the difference between those two things, or is it a mental, or is there any difference at all with those?
Well, it's huge. It's physical and mental, because the biggest thing is, I can tell you, if you get in a car and drive the speed limit, and warm your car up, that's starting. That's structure. You know you're going to get in there every day, and you're going to take it easy on your car. If you get in your car and just rev it up to 100, that's closing. It's a night and day situation. It's like sprint versus marathon. And I think the one thing is, the mindset is, it's not hard to get 3 outs sometimes, but it's a little bit more difficult to get the final 3 outs every single time. That's why these guys are so great. The routines that some of these guys had that I didn't have the luxury of learning, I just did it on the fly. And it was one of the neatest experiences, but one of the hardest challenges I've ever had to experience, because it wasn't just like pitching. It was learning a whole new gig.
You were only the second pitcher in the history of baseball to have over 20 wins in a season, as well as 50 saves in a season. Talk about that accomplishment.
Well, again, it's a totally different thing. And every day you have a chance to help your team in a closing role. But at the same time, as a starter, you have a chance to affect your team in a way that would be beneficial in the long term, is 1 through 9 innings, 1 through 8 innings. So I'm going to be in 35 games as a starter and 65 to 70 games as a closer. The only difference and the problem for me is I had to wait to be effective, meaning I had to rely on my teammates to do their job so that I could do mine.
Well, you know, playing in Atlanta for a long time, John, and had the opportunity to make a transition and go to Boston, how big of a difference or transition was that for you?
Oh, it was huge. When I've been in Atlanta for 21 years, you're comfortable, you know everything, and I was coming off a major surgery that nobody really gave me a chance to come back from. I've got 9 anchors in my shoulder. It was pretty much the death of most pitchers. It's the reason I retired. But going to Boston, them taking a chance for me to pitch in July, things didn't work out the way I would like them physically. I was feeling good and went through a program that just, it became tougher than I was ready for. Then when the time to go to St. Louis, I was able to actually do some of the things I wanted to do. Ended my career in an incredible fashion. I enjoyed pitching for Boston and St. Louis, as well as Atlanta. I gained a great perspective of the history of the three different organizations in a short period of time. And I wouldn't have traded anything. I went under the knife. First thing I remember waking up asking is, do I have a chance? And they gave me a very small chance, but they said, the way you work and the way you're dedicated, you can get back. I got back. I struck out 7 in a row with St. Louis. Never did that in my whole career. And ended back in the playoffs, which is what I wanted to do with the St. Louis Cardinals. So it became full circle.
We're here with future Hall of Fame John Smoltz. John, you played 21 years in Atlanta. You played 23 years total. How hard was that for you to leave the Diamond?
Well, you know what? I'm very content as a person. My faith in God allowed me to be completely satisfied with the work that I had done. I knew and I prayed, if the time is now, take it from me. And to be honest with you, I haven't picked up a ball since. And I've totally content with my career. I miss competition. Golf helps that. But I don't miss the grind of going out there and pitching hurt and not having. I could still be pitching today but be mediocre. I don't need to be mediocre, don't want to be mediocre, and certainly the transition's been great. I've gone into the broadcasting booth, and it's like everything was happening the way it should happen.
You mentioned you haven't picked up a ball, certainly picking up the golf ball, obviously, to play out there, doing a great job. You were a World Series champ. I know you guys had such a great team in Atlanta. Unfortunately, only won one World Series. Is that something that you reflect? Although you really didn't have too much control. I mean, you guys did all you could. Is there any thought process as far as wishing you could have won another one?
Oh, there's no doubt. I wouldn't trade. If they told me you're going to get 21 years and you're going to only win 2 World Championships but only go to the playoffs twice, but you're going to go 14 or 15 times and only win once, I'd take that 15 times, knowing that the chances to win it are just that much greater. As an athlete, you want to leave with your ball club knowing you got a chance to win, and we definitely had that. It's in my gut. It kills me that we only won one because we were so close. And the one thing that I can say is that I had the time of my life. I mean, we did something no other team in the history of baseball will ever do, or team sports in general. And we won 14 straight divisional championships, and that's not an easy feat. And certainly we went 1-5 in our, or 1-4, whatever it was in the World Series. And if I had to do it all over again, there's a couple times in history that we could change the destiny of the Atlanta Braves if we'd have just done 1 or 2 things, and that's what makes sports so unique.
Playing for such an intense coach like Bobby Cox, what was he like, outside of the clubhouse?
He's the ultimate manager. He's like your father, mentor, grandfather, all in one, and he basically fights for you and does everything that you would want a manager to do for a player. And if you can't play for him, you can't play for anybody.
Well, we're both in Atlanta, and let's talk about some of the endeavors that you got going on there. I know that you do something with building Christian schools. Talk a little bit about that and what it means for you to give a kid an opportunity to be successful.
Yeah, the most amazing thing in my baseball career, stats are going to be what define me as a player, but what defines me as a person is the things that I've been able to do because of a uniform. And I helped build a Christian school in 2001. I've been part of the Atlanta Community Food Bank and trying to eliminate hunger, not only in Atlanta, but worldwide. Children's Healthcare of Atlanta has been a special partner with myself and the amount of good work they do there. And so it's just been a great opportunity in Atlanta. It's my home now, and any chance I can to give back and make the place that I live and the place that I can serve a better place, warms my heart.
Well, we really appreciate your time here. Future Hall of Famer, it's a true pleasure here from Class Act Sports. Thank you very much, John.
My pleasure.